All right. Uh, I don't know why Twitch would start first. Maybe just latency with YouTube. That's surprising that we got Twitch messages before YouTube. Hello, Alyssa. Hello, Lamb. Hello, hello, Lily. Welcome. I am glad Twitch has decided to work this time. So this final story, I just realized my cursor was on screen. Definitely not because I am emulating this game or anything. That'd be crazy. So this final story here, which is obviously what I'm starting with because we haven't even beaten the game yet, uses all the characters. They each go through their own little platforming segment, and then we actually get to fight the final boss. Hitting those things, if I remember correctly, it's been a very long time since I played this. Hitting those things will prevent the entire world from collapsing in on itself. So we do need to hit those because Solaris has been reformed. I don't know. Story stuff. Those things are bad. Those giant purple balls that look like what they will kill us instantly will in fact kill us instantly. And that's what the statue thing that I had earlier prevents from happening. Very short time. I don't know. I think this final story is a really cool send-off to the game, especially because, you know, you can like recognize, where do I go? Areas you've been through before. Like this, these are set pieces taken from other stages that you get to play as characters who don't normally get to go through those stages, which I think is really cool. What is it? What? Oh yeah, okay. We do have to collect the Chaos Emeralds so that the hedgehogs can go super, or whatever. I think it's really cool that we get to play through all the level, or a bunch of different levels as all the characters who didn't get to go through those levels. I don't remember if there are Sonic, Shadow, and Silver sections. I think there are, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I remember the Dusty Desert one in particular being weirdly difficult. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done this level, which fittingly is called End of the World. It threw a box at me. That was rude. I'm getting pulled. Okay. Ow. I do think it's... There's also, like, DLC for a bunch of different characters. I think Tails gets his own DLC levels, or at least is in the DLC levels. And he controls completely differently. That's something I want to touch on at some point. Or he doesn't control differently, but I don't know. Like, there are DLC levels where you get to play as characters who wouldn't normally get to be in those areas, right? But obviously this being a send-off to the actual game, I think makes it a little bit different. What the? Come on, Knuckles. Okay. Clearly. Actually, oh my goodness, what the? Help. Like, Rouge is in this area, so these aren't interactions that you wouldn't find, right? Oh, okay, that's instant death. These aren't interactions that you wouldn't ever see in the game, otherwise, but I don't know. Like, having Omega in the other level is just like a completely unique thing for the rest of the game. It's officially Insomnia. Yeah. I understand. Oh my goodness, you can't climb on anything. Knuckles the Echidna twice. It's worth that much emphasis. I agree. I don't know. I feel like I don't have much to say on these levels other than, oh hey, it's cool that we get to see these characters here. But like, I don't know. What else am I gonna say? Oh my goodness. It's okay. We made it. I do also like the, like, what the? Knuckles, come on. Whoa, I was getting sucked, that's why. Okay. Hopefully I can not die here. There we go. I don't know. Knuckles the Squidna. Yeah, okay. Damn it. I like the time pressure of like having to quickly get through these levels and having to figure out how to quickly get through them. The only other time in the game where you really have any time pressure is Aquatic Base, which admittedly is not a lot of time pressure. So it's cool to like be forced to go quickly, even with characters who you wouldn't necessarily expect to have to go fast. Like, obviously when you're playing as Sonic or even Tails or Knuckles or whatever, you're kind of expected to go fast, but I don't know, like with Silver, you're not really ever expected to go quickly. But that is changed here, so it's cool to see different characters in different contexts and whatever. How do I activate this? Oh, you just walk up to it, you don't even have to attack it. Twitch latency is already bad. Somehow that's not surprising. What am I doing? Why am I fighting these guys? Yeah, I remember this Dusty Desert specifically being difficult. Like one of the harder parts of this level. This level's called Into the World, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I feel like it's pretty fitting. He is being intentionally dense, yeah. He put a lot of effort into that. Oh my goodness. Ah! I think this is why. Because you have to like carefully navigate around these while you're getting pulled in toward them. Oh my goodness. And they get stronger the longer you take as well. Oh. I need to find a thingy. There's a thingy. Eesh. Fun. There we go. I'm scared of trying. I want to S rank every level as I play through them to get the footage for all the critique I want to do on this game. But I'm scared of trying to S rank this one. I don't know if this platform layout is the same as Sonic's in Sonic's Dusty Desert. Like, obviously the springs and like objects and enemies are different, but Discords everywhere, constantly getting pulled in. True. Can I put Dilver in the finished video? I will. I'll make sure to get at least one D rank that I record as Silver. I promise. Okay. Does Rouge glide farther than Knuckles? It feels like it. That seems rude to Knuckles on part of the developers. I feel like you can glide way farther as Rouge. Oh wow, that guy got shloomped. Oh my god, I'm getting shloomped. I don't know, like, I feel like, oh my goodness, this necessarily involves some trial and error, more so than most of the base game, which I feel like normally, oh my god, I don't like with when it comes to Sonic games. Why won't you climb? When it comes to Sonic games especially, I don't normally like trial and error, but I feel like in this in this context it works a little bit better, just because I don't know, the world is being obliterated and story-wise it's because of a god that can manipulate time. There's some fourth wall shenanigans going on in there to justify that in my brain, but I don't hate End of the World by any means. There's a statue. There we go. No, you can't climb. Okay, so what I just did there is a glitch. I don't know if it has a name, and I don't know if it's useful in any context at all, full stop. But you can bounce off of, you have a few frames when you land in the water to bounce off of it. If you literally just press the jump button in the water. And I tried to save myself by doing that, but you can't climb unless you're coming out of a glide, so that didn't work, unfortunately. I guess I should just be a little bit more careful. That's boring. I don't know, I don't think any trial and error is necessarily required through End of the World, but it is when you play like I do. Ruby Sonic Pellets. Is that my new full name? Is that my second channel's full name? If I go stealth, will Solaris still be able to throw stuff at me? Doesn't look like it. Just gotta stay invisible through this whole thing. So in Project 06, which I'll get to hopefully soon, as soon as I beat End of the World here, and also beat Solaris, obviously, they completely change how a lot of characters play. I think this is a good thing that we're actually going through and like playing how as all the characters before we... Okay, yeah, so you basically constantly need to be in stealth so you're not getting boxes thrown at you from everywhere. Anyway, I think the fact that I'm doing all the characters before going into Project 06 will really highlight... Well, no! Amy! Will really highlight all the changes that Project 06 made to all the characters, which I think is a good thing. Rouge Couture. Rouge isn't even my favorite character. Wow, Amy's section is a lot longer than I was expecting it to be, actually. What? Do I have to kill the enemies? Bonk. Amy is one of the, like, I think Amy is a very good, like, microcosm of what I don't like about Project 06 because of what they changed about Amy. And I'll get more into that once we actually start playing Project 06. But I do not like the changes they made to Amy. That said, Amy, while I don't like the changes they made to her, are also implemented the best of any changes that they did actually make in Project 06. Which again, I'll elaborate more on once we get there. But, I don't know. Yeah, I think, like, they didn't... Oh my god. Okay. Like, they definitely didn't have to put a stealth section into Sonic 06. But I think it was implemented well enough for being a stealth section in an action platformer game, you know. Yeah, this is... Oh my god, my rings got schlorped. This is unfortunate. This is still base game Sonic 06, yeah. Is that a 1-up? You know, okay, I blame that death on Project 06 because in Project 06, the lightspeed dash button was changed to Y, and I was pressing Y to lightspeed dash there, which does not work in the original 06 because the lightspeed dash button in the original 06 is X. Flormfic Hedgehog? I'm sure that's someone's OC name. I pressed the jump button, I swear to god. It's okay, we probably have to replay the whole thing anyway. I just need to be more careful with the earlier characters. Especially because so many of the early ones are really easy. Alright, this stream's off to a great start. When Marathon recompiled? What's that? I'm actually honestly not at all... I've not at all kept up with any, like, 06 community stuff. I think I'm in the 06 speedrunning Discord still. But I'm not, like, active in there by any means. And the only reason I joined it was for the Blaze challenge run video I did. Can I just fly over here, I wonder? Wow, you can. Okay. First game over, yeah. I feel like I've died a few times. Fan PC port for retail. Oh my god. It's like... Okay, so it's Unleashed recompiled, but for 06. I'm really excited for that. I adore this game. And I'm really... Oh my goodness, excited for that for sure. I want this one. That was risky, but worth it. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't like Project 06. Project 06 is the worst way to bring this game to PC, in my opinion. Which sucks, because, like, there's so much love and care and attention put into it, but it changes so many things that completely obliterate the base game experience. Regardless of how long that takes, I'm very much excited for that. This game is worth waiting for. Okay, just gotta be a little careful here. Oh my god. I highly recommend both 06 and Black Knight. If you're gonna play Unleashed, I recommend the Wii version. I'm like one of the 2 people in the world who would say that, but I do not like the original Unleashed at all. I don't know. I feel like the fact that Sonic 06 is my favorite Sonic game, and Unleashed is one of my least favorites is... it's not on purpose. Yeah, it's definitely not a remake. I don't know, it has a lot of really good ideas, right? I think the idea of taking a lot of things that people didn't like about 06 and completely reworking it is a great idea. But because they use the exact same level design as base 06, it doesn't work at all. Which, again, I will get definitely a lot more into once we actually start playing 06, or Project 06. I can avoid these boxes. So far, so good. I haven't died once. Which is better than I did last time. At least marginally. Yeah, having to talk to Professor Pickle so many times is so pointless. Admittedly, that problem is in Unleashed, and arguably worse in Unleashed just because the menus are incredibly slow, but you also don't have to, like, see an animated cutscene every single time you talk to him, which is nice. It's mostly just static dialogue against the paper cutouts, you know? Oh my god. It's fine. Silver, no. Okay, everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. I know, like, the jumps and stuff to get up here are the same as in Sonic's Dusty Desert, but I don't know if these moving platforms specifically are the same. I would assume they are, but I do not remember. Legacy of Solaris. I think Legacy of Solaris is less egregious than Project, only because a lot of the changes that Legacy of Solaris uses are the DLC changes anyway. That said, Faster Tails is the least bad of them. I hate Faster Silver. Silver moving quickly is... it, like, for me, completely ruins the point of his story and character, right? I don't know. It feels like there's no reason to play Silver if he's moving quickly. Outside of just, like, having Sonic, but you can throw stuff. As opposed to base game where Silver is very much effectively a puzzle game. I do really, really like a lot of the added stories, though. Like, they didn't change Blaze at all, but they also gave her her own story, which is awesome. Or, like, how Knuckles wasn't changed very much at all, if at all, I don't remember. But was given his own story. Like, I think the new stories in Legacy of Solaris are incredible. Made a physics mod for this game. I have not played it. I haven't played a lot of mods for this game. Legacy of Solaris is an exception because so many people talk about it. I played it for the same reason I played Project, because, you know, this is my favorite Sonic game. I feel like I'm obligated to play the most popular, like, things about my favorite Sonic game. And it also gives me a better view of, like, what I do and don't like about this game. Oh no! That was a very unfortunate time for that to happen. Oh, right. Legacy feels like Sonic. I don't think... I disagree, only because I think that the original game feels like Sonic. And what I mean by that is Sonic 06 feels like the culmination of the adventure era, right? As opposed to, say, Project 06, which takes the Adventure era and injects a lot of the Boost era into it. Oh, that was a typo. Okay. I don't know. Either way, I feel like Sonic 06 is like what the Boost era, or what the Adventure era was ultimately wanting to come to eventually anyway. So I don't know. I'm one of those freaks who thinks Heroes is a really, really great Sonic game. I also think that of Black Knight and 06, so I know my opinions are strange. But they're also correct. Okay. Pardon me. Okay, we're doing much better this time. I've only died once. The ragdoll, yeah. Dark Souls 2 vibes. Yeah, if the DLC, like, if they turned the DLC changes into patches instead of just... I agree. Whoa. That is part of the reason I don't dislike it as much as I... Well, I don't know. I like Legacy of Solaris because it does add a lot of things, but it doesn't feel like it's supposed to be, you know, like changing the base game. It just feels like it's supposed to be its own thing, which I like a lot. Okay. New personal best. Yeah, but in Dark Souls 2, you can't interact with the ragdolls. Can you interact with the ragdolls in this game? Actually, I don't remember. I wasn't paying that much attention, admittedly. There we go. No! That's so unfortunate. Okay. Excuse me. Ow. Stop throwing stuff at me! Get on the eagle! Jesus, Shadow. I know it's my depth perception, but you're the one doing it. Okay. Wasn't the unused section used in the DLC? Actually, I don't remember. I would need to go through it again. Shadow hates birds. That checks out. When I think bird in Sonic the Hedgehog, I think Jet the Hawk, which is totally understandable to hate. As cool as he is. And for Team Amiga, yeah. Yeah. Oh, right. Legacy of Soul. I feel like I remember that and was very confused when I got to it. I feel like that would be my gut reaction. Oh, there's no Sonic section. Okay. As long as you don't die, that doesn't seem like too terrible of an S rank. It is a very long stage, though. Well, I don't know. It's about as long as Aquatic Base. The kiss scene. Should we watch the kiss scene? Let's watch the kiss scene. The best cutscene in all of Sonic 06. He says sarcastically.
Oh, Chaos Emeralds, gems of miracles, please heed my call. I wish to save this world. I wish to cleanse my father's sin. And I wish to talk to Sonic. Once
Please, no. Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense as to why Sonic didn't get a part in End of the World.
so many things. Now it is my time to return the favor. I care not what happens
I
to me.
unironically love
Please
the story for this game. I think it's perfectly serviceable as a Sonic story.
come back
They didn't have to include this.
to us.
Oh, that's the important part. Now we can fight Solaris. Um, you're right, this is fully necessary, my bad. I don't remember anything about this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so pressing Y switches... What? Okay, so pressing Y switches characters and resets your rings to... Or at least it gives you more rings. As Silver, you can catch projectiles and throw them back at him, which, as far as I remember, is the most efficient way to deal damage. Or most... what do you call it? Most, like... consistent way to deal damage. With Sonic, you dash into him, but he always blocks, and I think there's a specific time you need to attack. Ow. But I don't know what it is. No, I started on the final story, and then we're gonna go to Project 06 afterward. I think there's a specific attack he does that I'll be able to actually attack as Sonic during, but I don't know what it is. Oh! Wait, what? You have to... That didn't deal damage? I'm so confused. Yeah, the special evil version. Is that not what you're supposed to do? When do I attack? Okay.
It's all you, Shadow. Understood.
I think... I don't know, I've done damage as the other characters, but I don't know how. There has to be some specific time that you need to attack, but I have no idea what it is. I don't like this fight because of that, because it's so poorly communicated what you're supposed to do. But the only character I was ever able to deal damage with was Silver. Like, is that dealing damage? Does Silver break his armor? Is that what it is? No? Did that deal damage? Okay, Google says so. Okay. So you're supposed to play as Silver the whole time at first. And not let the rocks break on other projectiles. It's so weird that Sonic and Shadow are completely useless at first, though. Okay. Very strange. I feel like the game should communicate that more and not leave it up to experimentation, but... I don't know. I suppose most Sonic final bosses don't communicate things like that very well. Admittedly. Break the right arm of Shadow, then finish the fight of Sonic. Okay. It's weird that you can't cycle between them, at least then, but... Why is it different? I don't know. Very strange. Well, now that I know what I'm doing, this should go by significantly faster. I think there's a second phase as well? Question mark? I'm excited to get into Project 06, for sure. Because I have a lot more to say about that, rather than the somewhat underwhelming final boss of this game. As much as I like End of the World as a final level.
It's my turn. Let's have some fun, Solaris.
This feels underwhelming. As a supersonic final boss. Hello, Toast. Yeah, I'm not even close to done. Don't worry. After I beat this game, I'm gonna go play actual Project 06. This is still only normal 06 because I wanted to finish streaming it. Extremely cool boss. I mean, to be fair, I think story-wise, this is one of the coolest Sonic final bosses we've ever gotten. You know, the god of time and space, who is actively manipulating timelines to try and defeat the Super Trio. And they have to team up to defeat this, like, world-destroying, dimension-destroying god, basically. But the fight itself is somewhat underwhelming, for sure.
Is it impossible to defeat a super-dimensional being after all?
No, something's different. I can feel a large, powerful consciousness coming from Solaris.
But you couldn't before? Okay, do I have to constantly switch between them now?
It's all you, Shadow. Understood. Even if we can't stop his fall, we can stop his consciousness.
Same texture as Kazu when it's falling. It's pretty similar. So, his world is by far the best Sonic theme, so that does also make this fight a lot better. Do I have to, like, catch a certain number of them? Because they keep getting blocked by his other projectiles. Do I have to, like, move out of the way before I throw them? I feel like there's some sort of method to this that I'm not getting. Yeah, that got through. No. Yeah, every time you switch, you get rings back. But you can't deal damage as any of them at any point. He'll change his ways and listen. What makes you think you could convince Solaris to stop? Wait, what? That's so cool. Find the right timing. That missed? Oh, okay, so you need to attack during the laser? Okay, so yes, attack during the laser. Got it. I assume all three of the hedgehogs can deal damage then. I just need to do it at the right time. And only switch specifically to get rings back. Oh my god. He's awesome and cool boss fight. That would flatter him. True. Okay, catch some of these and then wait. Go. Hey, that did damage. Okay. The laser feels very strange to dodge. Yeah, like, what? Is that even possible to dodge consistently? Okay, that was probably too late, right? Do you need to have this fully charged actually deal damage? And how do you... Okay, well... I don't think it makes the fight less stressful. You have to manage all three rings, right? All three hedgehogs rings. Come on. Whoa, space-time man. I wonder if it makes sense to just, like, unleash the strong attack and then just spam chaos spears while he's lasering, right? Oh god. Did that even hit? I don't think so. Okay, now Silver feels like the least consistent because there are constantly rocks flying everywhere. Sonic Adventure 2 vibes with the constantly overlapping dialogue. Shadow feels like the easiest to deal damage with now. Clearly a man because of his actions, true. And also, Mephiles is a man, but you know, that's secondary as a reason. I'm trying. This is hard. Okay, we're getting there. Don't know who Mephiles actually is. He's the guy that kind of looks vaguely like Shadow without a mouth. What? I'm so sad. Oh my god. That seems easier to dodge, actually. Okay. Do something, please. Please? What the? Okay, never mind. Come on, Silver. Help. Solaris. Mephiles does look cool. I agree. He also kind of looks like the beta design of Shadow, which I think is funny. I don't know, probably some meta-narrative shenanigans going on there. Oh my goodness. Ow. Big attitude. Okay. Sonic is incredibly campy, constantly, and I love him so much for that. Ow. What? Okay, well. I do wish you could collect rings, as... What the? As the individual hedgehogs, so you didn't have to switch constantly. It does... Like you can in, like, the Dark Gaia fight, for instance. But, I don't know. This works like this as well. It's just kind of different. Well, there's only been a couple messages in Twitch chat, and nobody's sent one in a while, so I don't think that's the issue. Oh my god. Okay, that's dealing damage. Silver! Okay. Charge this up. Go. Did that deal damage? Probably. Blaze is stuck in the DS game while this is happening. Yeah. Yeah, I just got to make sure to remember to switch. Why is Eggman trusting Shadow? Shut up. Does this not count as an opportunity for me to attack? No, it is dealing damage. Some of it is, at least. There we go. We won! Wow. Is that an S? For a 10-minute fight. Alright. Sonica 06, ladies and gentlemen. And otherwise, I love this game. The ending, I think story-wise is awesome. Otherwise, eh. I love End of the World. I don't love the final boss. Hi, Krista. Welcome. Sonic Autism Gaze, aka Ruby. If you don't know the story, from this point, the events of the entire game get retconned within the game itself. Basically what happens is they put out the flames of destruction or whatever, which is represented by like a little candle flame because Solaris is so weakened, which erases the timeline that Solaris is in. So the timeline that this game is in never actually existed because they got rid of it at this point. Yeah. It is. End of the World is a very stressful level. It's great. I mean, it works really well as a stressful final level. Okay, so that is the original Sonic 06. I adore it. I love almost the entire game. And the parts that I love are just so incredible. It is my favorite Sonic game. I know that the last half an hour-ish of gameplay didn't show that off as well as the rest of the game, but I promise I do genuinely really love that game. But now we are going to play Project 06, and I'm hoping that my game will, or that my computer will actually be able to stream this. Give me one moment to change the window that I'm actually streaming. There it is. Okay. I'm gonna actually lower some graphic settings, because while I can, actually I'm gonna start a new file as well. While I can actually run this game fairly well, it does struggle at some points, and because I'm streaming, I'm not even streaming in 2K. There's no reason for me to have that all the way up. Okay, that should be more than enough. Then can I go back and change profiles? Okay, good. And the reason that I'm gonna make a new file is because there are collectibles in the stages, and I want to talk, or in the Sonic stages specifically. I don't know if there are in other stages. We don't have an actual like story mode yet in Project 06. I don't know if Chaos X is working on that. I assume they are. But I want to start with Sonic Story because it is probably the best of the three in Project 06, but it still changes enough that I really don't like a lot of the changes it makes. So the collectibles are these guys right here. There are the gems that you would normally purchase in the shops during the main game, are scattered around the levels because both there are no overworld sections to have the shops, but also there are, I don't know, they work in some instances. Like, I understand why they put certain gems in certain places, but the best gem and most useful by far is the blue gem, which we don't actually get until Aquatic Base, which I really do not like. Wow, how did I not jump at all? You also start with all Sonic's actual upgrades because, again, there's no, like, I don't know, there's no actual progression. You can't purchase the upgrades in the shop like you would in the base game. I probably won't be playing all of Project 06, just kind of playing stuff that will help me point out what I want to point out. But yeah, so we start with all the Sonic's upgrades, which I feel like makes it hard to introduce mechanics as they come. You know, like, there's a lot that I don't want to talk about, and I feel like I'm talking about the big things a lot more than the little things that bother me a lot. And the little things stack up a lot more than the couple big things that are there. Like with Tails, you move faster on the ground as Tails than you do in the base game. Which is one thing that I do not like, but it is a change that the DLC made, presumably because people either didn't like it or it was unintentional. Either way, I think Tails moving slowly on the ground works really well in the base game, because you're supposed to fly with him, right? That's how he moves as fast as Sonic, by flying. And obviously he's hovering slightly above the ground while you're running, but he's not, like, actually flying, so I feel like it makes sense to be going slower. I don't know, Tails moving slow never really bothered me. Another big thing, or the biggest thing about Tails that I don't like in Project is, if you notice, whenever I'm flying, even when I'm going down, the meter in the bottom right is going down, which shows you your flight time. Meaning, because it's constantly going down, even if you're not pressing the button, there is no reason to ever let go of the flight button unless you need to specifically, like, attack an enemy or whatever, right? Which means it is functionally pointless to feather your flight. There's no reason to, like, try and manage it carefully or whatever, or, like, actually pay attention to how you're flying. You just hold the fly button and go up and fly higher than you would otherwise. And it's so, like, it's such a microcosm of everything that Project 06 changes that I don't like. Like I said, the Silver and Amy especially, Amy, like, really encapsulates that. But there are a lot of little gameplay changes that, like, feel better moment to moment. Like if I jump as Sonic in the Mach Speed section, I can turn in midair. You cannot do that in the original, which makes the Mach Speed sections feel a lot more tense and less controllable because you're moving at Mach Speed. It's supposed to be a lot less controllable. I've never been hit by those guys. I was not paying attention because of that. But in this, it just feels like a boost section. Like, I don't know. I don't like the Mach Speed sections in this. Have a good day, Lamb. Thank you for being here when you could. I purchased the DLC legally and am able to play it. That's why I think about the DLC. Definitely no other reason. Wow, that was a really bad score. Oh my god. The S ranks are another thing I want to talk about. I got all the S ranks in this because it unlocks the Rainbow Gem. And the S ranks function very differently. And in the original, there's a heavy emphasis between choosing to go fast to try and get the S rank, or going slow and killing enemies and being thorough and collecting rings to get the S rank, right? Or you can do a mix of the two that ends up being more fun for you. The point is, for the S ranks, there are a lot of ways to achieve it, and those ways offer entirely different control style or play styles, right? As opposed to here, where you are required to explore but also go fast, and there's no other way to get the S ranks. It's other than like Aquatic Base, where you'll probably get, you know, at least 40,000 points even if you're not paying attention by just going through the level. There's also a lot of emphasis on going off of ramps and doing tricks and going through rings, which to a point is true of the original, but in the original, a lot of that is exclusively via exploration, right? Like especially the rainbow rings. A lot of the rainbow rings that you go through in the base game are very, very much based on exploration, as opposed to here, where you see I get points for doing a jump off that ramp. You don't get points for jumping off ramps in the original, because that's not the point of the game, and I don't think it should be here either. Also, starting with the bounce bracelet completely trivializes this stage. You're not supposed to get it so radical terrain for a reason. The Mach Speed sections are very much not broken and not unfair. I vehemently disagree with that. They're precise and unruly. That's kind of the point, right? Also, you can just completely skip the actual spectacle section because it's slightly slower, so it's not actually spectacle, I assume, is the thought process behind doing that from Chaos X. Like, yeah, the Mach Speed sections are a lot harder in the original than most sections in most Sonic games, but here they're just easy and hold forward brainless. I don't know. They're definitely not fun here for me. I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but since we're back to Tails, one thing that I really do not like about Tails is when you throw bombs, they home sometimes. They don't home onto the towers. I forgot about that. But because the homing is very inconsistent, it's actually a lot like the homing attack. The homing attack also feels really inconsistent in this game. They home sometimes, and because of that, they take far less skill. The ring bombs take far less skill to use than in the original. But they're also a lot less consistent. So like if you're expecting them to home onto something, then you're not going to be attempting to aim, right? But if you're not expecting it to home, you are going to be attempting to aim. Like in the original, you know, you constantly have to aim them, and it's a lot more consistent because they're not constantly trying to home in on something. There have been so many instances where I've tried to throw a ring bomb at a specific enemy and it just went in a completely different direction, and I hate it so much. Also, this part is not in the original. You actually spawn right here when you turn back into Sonic, not back over there. No homoing. Admittedly, the spin dash does work a lot better in this version. I don't know. The spin dash is kind of useless in the original. Also, again, the bounce bracelet kind of breaks this entire level design. That would be an easy S with the time bonus in the original, by the way. And it was not an S here, which is what I mean about the difference. If I had gone through and slowly attacked all the enemies, I would have definitely gotten an S. But time bonus is just a lot less useful here. which does bring it in line with other Sonic games like, I don't know, Sonic Colors, but it does change it fundamentally from the original '06, which I hate. My biggest thing about Project '06 is that it does not faithfully take anything at all from the original '06. It changes everything so it feels better without actually respecting the level design, which makes the level design feel terrible. And I feel like that this level is a great example of that because of the positioning of the secret gem. Let me actually get there real quick. This is the one level in the original '06 where there's actually time pressure, other than End of the World, obviously. Which I think is really fun and unique, and actually works really well for the original '06. It's also one of the most linear levels in Sonic 06. It's kind of the opposite of Flame Core, which comes right before it, right? But the changes, like, it feels good to find upgrades in levels and to be able to go back through that level and use that upgrade that you found in that level. But because of where the upgrade is placed, this specific one, the gem, is placed, it doesn't really work in this level. Yeah, I know. It's so frustrating because there's so much about Project 06 that just doesn't work in terms of the level design of actual 06. So the thing that I think really encapsulates the vibe of this level is this purple gem. This is the gem that you find in this level. And what it does is it effectively lets you double jump instead of like shrinking you or whatever. Oh my god. Jesus. Instead of shrinking you and like giving you infinite jumps or whatever, you can just double jump, which completely breaks the purpose of having the bounce bracelet. And this is the first level where you would actually have the bounce bracelet and be able to use it for platforming in the original. Like, you can use it there to get up on those rails faster and save time and whatever, which I think is really cool. It incorporates an upgrade that you just got into the level design. But with this, you can just, because this goes down a slope and everything. Oh, you can't homing attack out of this. Wait, then what's the point? You can still jump up, and it removes the point of the bounce bracelet. So I guess my point stands. Oops. I lost there because I was trying to explain why I don't like this. And I guess failing to explain why I don't like it. But again, the purple gem, which you get in the level, which would normally be the first that you have the bounce bracelet, but in this case isn't, because you can use the bounce bracelet to break the level design of levels before you would actually have the bounce bracelet, which works in the original because you would be able to go back to those levels. You know, you would have already played those levels without the bounce bracelet. Going back and playing them with the bounce bracelet, I think works really well because you're replaying levels in a different context there. But with this, you have the bounce bracelet the entire time. So the previous levels where it would normally be like a replay, you know, reward if nothing else. It turns into the first playthrough being what kind of breaks the level design, and then once you actually like get to the point where you would normally use the bounce bracelet and it's useful for the level design, it gives you something to entirely ignore that level design. I don't know, like I think Project 06 has a lot of great ideas. I think, again, oops, I meant to get that invincibility because that's something that I think the game does well, or Project 06 does well. I think having the gems scattered through the levels works really well. I think it's a great idea to add replayability and also encourage exploration with an extrinsic reward as opposed to the intrinsic reward of getting S ranks. But because of how they're placed, they don't work all the time, especially like with the blue gem being one that would vastly increase how fun it is to just run through certain parts of levels, placed at the very end of the game. So because of that, a lot of the changes they made were to speed. Like, you move way faster in Project 06. That's a really big thing that I do not like about it. You move faster in Project 06. Because of that, a lot of the level design doesn't work. And that could have been, they could have kept the base movement speed and just given you the blue gem earlier, right? But because they don't, they relegate it to aquatic base. It's like, it's like they make changes that affect the entire game. So much ranting, you're not processing at all. Don't worry, I'll turn this into an actual video at some point, this rant. Big takeaways from Sonic Story. The speed and controllability is of Sonic himself.
Elise, hold on tight.
Jesus, okay. The speed and controllability of Sonic himself is increased vastly, which seems like it would be a good thing. It should feel good to be able to move Sonic around like this. But because the level design wasn't changed at all, I just skipped a huge, well, not a huge chunk of platforming, but I skipped a decent amount of platforming there. That would normally be required to take the faster and more, the faster path that gives you more points, right? But because I was able to just jump up to that platform, the faster path ends up being the easier one, as opposed to the harder one that you need to like actually try to go quickly for. That said, they did make Elisa's shield actually function at killing enemies, which is cool. I do like that. The placement of the invincibility that I got in Radical, or that I wanted to get in Radical Train, is also, I think, a better placement for that. Like, it's not that I hate everything that this game does. I think it has a lot of really great ideas. I just don't think that all of them are executed perfectly. Does this actually make you invincible? It doesn't. Okay, that's cool. I'm glad about that. Moving the Lightspeed Dash to Y, personally, I prefer it on X because it requires more control, which is kind of how this game is. But because of the changes, I think it works on Y. Yeah, honestly, if this game... Okay, if Project 06 added its own levels, I think this would be an incredible fan game. I think this would be like one of the best Sonic fan games. But because it doesn't have its own levels, your speed obliterates the level design, which will be a lot more obvious once I get to Silver. Actually, I can go to Silver now. But your speed completely obliterates the level design, which is my favorite thing about Sonic 06. The level design is perfect. Project 06 makes Sonic's movement better, but that breaks the point of the level design? Kind of. It's the way that it makes it better. It makes it faster, which makes it feel better moment to moment. It gives you more control over specific things, like how you move in the air after jumps off of ramps or springs. But that also lets you skip huge parts of the level that you wouldn't be able to skip otherwise. Or it gives you the gems in the middle of levels, which feels like an interesting upgrade. But because of where they're placed and where you're encouraged to use them, it doesn't... It decreases, I think, in my opinion, the intrinsic reward of getting the S ranks, because the exploration would normally be required for S ranks is going into the gems, which is give or take. I think the silver medals also kind of do that in the original, but not to the same degree, because that is also a purely intrinsic reward. But also their placement specifically, a lot of the time, makes it feel like you should be using them in situations where it's probably better to not use them as well. So if you haven't played the original, I think it's also a lot worse. Dusty Desert is my favorite silver, or is one of my favorite silver levels in the original. Maybe not my actual favorite, but definitely up there. As you can see, immediately, Silver's movement is much faster. He doesn't throw enemies into other enemies that you're actively holding, which I think is probably a good thing, admittedly. But that's probably the only thing that I like about how they changed Silver. Like, he's so much faster than in the original, because he has the flying thing here. The ball physics are very different. They kind of move a lot slower, actually. One of the few things that's actually slower in Project. I think there are fewer balls, though. Not actually sure. Don't quote me on that. That's unfortunate. Really? Okay, I think I have to redo this. Oh no. They give you one more grace hit than the original does. Yeah, like, because he moves so fast, you just, like, don't need to use the hovering for a lot of this platforming that you would normally need to use it for. So it leads to Silver just kind of feeling like Sonic, but he has telekinesis, which I really don't like. Project 06 has fewer balls, it's true. Okay, Amy is so much faster. Amy is the biggest change, the most changed character between the two versions. She can't turn invisible. Instead, she can bounce with her hammer. She can jump around and, you know, platform off enemies mid-air using her hammer. And this feels awesome. It feels so good to do this. But it's not Silver's story. If I wanted to move around like this with Amy, I would play a different Sonic game. I would play Frontiers or Sonic Adventure, right? Amy is supposed to be a slow stealth character. This is the double jump upgrade, or the double jump tutorial right here, by the way. Not required at all. Like, like again, this feels great. It feels really good to move around with Amy like this, going really fast and bouncing off enemies with your hammer. That instance of the explosive, these instances of the explosive boxes though are completely useless. They're supposed to be the stealth section, the stealth tutorial that like teaches you how to use Amy's abilities to your advantage, but she's just stronger than most other characters now, which makes her not be unique in an interesting way, outside of like being able to bounce off of enemies with her hammer, which I think is fun. Again, it's more fun moment to moment, but breaks the point of the level design and the point of the character as a whole, you know? Like I understand that this is a lot more fun to a lot of people. I agree, this is a really fun, but it's not Amy. It's not, she's Sonic, but with a hammer. Silver is Sonic, but with telekinesis. And the differences are so stripped away, you know? And while it is more fun to play moment to moment, there's no, the level design is broken. Like, all this platforming is pointless. You can't stun those guys while they have the balls on their hands in the original, which means the combat goes by much quicker, but is also a lot less notable. Like no, that's the thing. They are in this. That's how fans see them, apparently. But like in the original 06, the characters were all fundamentally and excessively different. But here, they're all Sonic but trait, yeah. They did keep the mini golf, which I did forget about, actually. I love that they kept the mini golf, but it's so much, I don't know. Not my Amy, It feels like you have a lot more control over the ball, which can be argued to be a good thing. Just like being evil, totally understandable. Hello, CO, welcome. I am actively complaining about what is widely considered one of the best Sonic games, or Sonic fan games ever, which I vehemently and fundamentally disagree with on in every way you could possibly think of. Chaos control, all ball control. Wait. Oh, you can stop it with that. Actually, I didn't know that. I don't know if that's possible in the original. There's a ramp. Why is there a ramp? Who put a ramp here? Yeah, okay. I think that I think that is about the difference that I mean. It's faster because, oh, I didn't think those, I think Sonic games should be fast, as opposed to, oh, Silver's a different playstyle and isn't supposed to be fast. Oh yeah, also, this has ball suction, which makes the mini golf way easier and way faster as well. It's not that it's jarring, I think this is fun. I don't think it's Sonic 06. Incredibly easy S-rank, by the way, which is not true of the Sonic stages. Because, okay, the time bonuses are a lot less, like, noticeable in the Silver stages because you're going so much faster. yeah, this is an incredibly impressive fan game. I think the effort on display here is insane. This is such an incredible idea and such an incredible fan game, but it's not Sonic 06, and everything that it takes from Sonic 06, it ruins completely.
A blue hedgehog. Can it be true? I need to find Silver.
Honestly, I don't know that I care why she turns invisible. If it was purely gameplay reasons, I don't think it would bother me at all. Blaze was one of the first things. Blaze's level was one of the first levels that I played in Project 06, and it was like, oh my god, I hate this. This was the first thing that was like, oh, so they like ruined everything that I loved about the original 06. Because with Blaze, she is very much Sonic, but in the original, and here in the original she was Sonic, but you have to be a lot more careful with which moves you use, which is actually pretty similar to Sonic and the Black Knight, where he has speed and momentum, but the way you maintain it is a lot more technical than with Sonic. Here, that goes out the window because you can dash and then jump. Where in the original, you could not double jump after a dash, so you had to carefully manage which of the two moves that you used in midair, on top of like making sure you were still keeping up your momentum like you do at Sonic. Admittedly, it's not that dramatic, but that little change allows you to do so many more things that would have been impossible in the original. So many jumps and like and using specific movement tech that just requires you to be so much less careful than in the original. And like, this is such a minor change, and I fully accept and understand that. But oh, they did actually extend Blaze's level, which I do like, because Blaze is awesome and she deserves more level. But I don't know, now it's just, there's no difference between Blaze and Sonic other than now Blaze can double jump. Sonic but double jump, as opposed to Sonic but more graceful, you know? Which is so much bigger and more notable of a difference. I don't know. Again, this is a little thing. And while it doesn't dramatically change how you play the character or the game, it is noticeable enough to an autistic person, aka me, that it shaped my view of Project 06 immediately. That should not have been an S. I played really poorly. I also love Blaze. Like, she's so much fun to play here, and if she had her own levels instead of using the original Sonic 06's level design, this would be so much fucking fun. This would be incredible. This would be one of my favorite, if not straight up my favorite Sonic fan game, if not favorite Sonic game, full stop. But because it uses the base game's level design and completely obliterates it, like... Okay, I think Sonic's Wave Ocean is another one that I can use to like really explain what I don't like about Project 06. With lots of mechanics to play, easier games with lots of mechanics to play with. I understand that. Like, there are reasons to prefer Project 06, and I do think it's incredible. It's an awesome fan game that, with a ton of work and effort and love and care put into it, that did its best to take what is widely considered by the fans to be one of the worst Sonic games and turning it into one of the most beloved, right? And I commend that, and I love Project 06 for that. But I hate what it did to Sonic 06. So this area in the original is one of my favorite pieces of level design. Full stop. In any game I've ever played. It's incredible. You can, like, as soon as you get here, you get a skill check. What? That's so much worse. I was just going to talk about how if you fail the skill check, you get more level based on your skill level and can engage with it in a bunch of different ways. Okay, so in Project 06, if you fail the skill check, you can just try again, I guess. Okay, if you fail the skill check in the original, you know, you can kill the enemies and do the light speed dash, which you will always have the light speed dash because you get it before the first level. And then, you know, you have this enemy here, followed by another skill check, which is 2 homing attacks, which is I don't know, skill check is probably a strong word, but if you fail that, you fall down here, you get a chance to explore, because if you are newer to this game, or just, you know, haven't played it very much, or just aren't good at it, full stop, you can still get S ranks and have fun and engage with the game uniquely by exploring, right? But if you are astute and you don't want to engage with that specific skill check, you can also, when you're homing attacking off this enemy, the camera will most likely pan up so you can see that ring box up there, which will make you realize that this specific slope is in fact sloped, and you can run up it, get the ring box, and then skip a lot of the rest of down here. And like, that is such a impressive and interesting piece of level design that it lets you engage with that one section in like 3 or 4 different ways. If you don't want to kill the enemies, you can also come over here and hit the spring and immediately go up here, but that gives you fewer points, obviously. So there are downsides to not engaging with the level design. Okay. But in Project 06, instead of having a bunch of unique and interesting ways to engage with the level design, you can retry the skill check, which is objectively the best way to get through it if you happen to fail the skill check. Or you can, once I get there, I will show off my least favorite thing. The bounce bracelet, not only do you have it at the beginning of the game, it also goes much higher. So like in the original, you can kind of use the terrain here and whatever to potentially maybe jump up here. But because you start with the bounce bracelet, you can just jump up. There's no reason to engage with any of this level design in Project 06, as opposed to the original, where you are effectively forced to engage with the level design in a completely unique way based on your skill level, and how much of the level design you choose to engage with. But you can just skip it in Project 06. I hate that. I hate it so much. If Halo CE was a bizarre parkour game about furries, yeah, that's a good descriptor, I think. I don't know. Again, I love what Project 06 is doing. You jump a less high when you're spin dashing. I think you don't jump as high when you're spin dashing. That's crazy. I don't know. I commend Project 06 for what it's doing, but it's not Sonic 06, and that's not a bad thing. But because it's framing itself as Sonic 06 but fixed, I have all these complaints. If it just framed itself as a different take on Sonic 06, I would love it. But a lot of even if it's not what Chaos X intended, not what the developer intended, the fans perceive it as Sonic 06 if it had more time to be made. But that's just not what it is. This is not what Sonic 06 would have become if the developers were given more time to work on it, if it was a finished game. And because of that, I think the original, even with how buggy and unfinished it is a lot better. Does that make sense? Is my ranting starting to become coherent? Like, I love it. I love the idea of it. I hate how it presents Sonic 06. It's like Halo if it wasn't Halo and instead is a totally different and unrelated game. It's not an Xbox exclusive. This was also on PlayStation 3. Halo Connection is entirely pointless? Maybe. Tropical Jungle is also, I feel like, a good, like, I don't know if you remember how I played this in the original. Oh, there are starting cutscenes. Oh, I forgot. There are cutscenes that start levels. Ew. Steam Deck can emulate it good? Maybe. I would hope so. If you use the, I forgot what it's called, but there's a way you can, like, unpack the game and have the disc read it easier. I don't know how much that would help though. In the original, I did do this. I was able to use a crate to skip over huge chunks of the level like this. You were there for that stream and I remember it. But in this, it almost feels intended because of how quickly Silver moves. Like, none of this platforming is even remotely difficult. There's no reason to engage with any of this level design. There is, like I don't think you can make this jump in the original without, like, being very careful with feathering your floating and everything. There's just, like, no reason to engage with a lot of this level design like there is in the original, just because it's so easy to bypass compared to the original, you know? Like, I'm not going to pretend that the original is a perfect game with no flaws. I think the game is great because of its flaws. I love how broken and messy and how... the game design shines through everything that people hate about the original 06. Oops. And I think that's part of why I love it. Halo also has vehicles, that's true.
I'll show you my real power. Dr. Eggman,
The level design of Halo is similar. Oh, maybe I should play Halo again. Does Shadow feel better? Okay. I don't remember. Shadow Story is definitely my least engaged with in both versions because I find it very boring compared to the difference between Sonic and Silver. I will say though that with how quick his movement is, he definitely, as of the 10 seconds that I played this, feels like Sonic, but he can keep homing attacking one thing. Have Shadow drive a Warhung. There shouldn't be any more delay than normal, hopefully. The fun worm part? Oh my god. 26,000! Why did I get 26,000 points? Oh, Rouge is completely different. Her bomb button is now on Xbox B instead of X, and her X is replaced with Knuckles kicks, which means she is Knuckles but better because she can throw bombs. Great. I love it. And like, I don't know, Knuckles combat works better than it did in the original, which admittedly is not hard to do, but I don't know. It doesn't feel good to just have Rouge be Knuckles but better. Oh, she can jump off walls normally. That is a important change. In the Rouge not being curvy and racing Crossworlds or whatever, I did see that. It is unfortunate. Is this? I don't know if you still need to drive around in the vehicles and what? Why even have the ramps there? What? I'm so confused. Am I just supposed to? Am I being forced to fight all the enemies? Is that what's happening? Are there no vehicles? They removed the vehicles? Is he actually just Sonic, but there's a focus in his level design on the combat? Is that it? Did they turn Shadow Story into Team Dark? I'm confused. Wait, what? Okay, so if this works, if I can just break the searchlights like this, it's extremely different from the original. Also, I will say that this feels significantly less intended than the original. What? I don't remember this. I didn't, like I said, I didn't play much of Shadow Story, but if this is the intended method to get through this level, I will be baffled. Looks like a level from Halo. I don't know, it gives me more like 007. Wait, what? That's intended?
Yes.
007, the world is not enough more than Halo, but sure. Okay, good luck with work, Lamb. Thank you for being here while you could. I didn't see any of the vehicles. They weren't in vanilla spots if they were still there. That's okay. So in the original, if you break the lights like that, it doesn't work. You have to actually shoot them with the vehicles to break the actual like base that they're on.
Don't be late. You're talking to me?
Okay. Will there be a car here for Shadow to drive? There does not seem to be. Are you serious? Okay, so they took the worst thing about Shadow Story, which is accidentally breaking your vehicle and being forced to go through the vehicle sections without a vehicle, and turned it into the main, or made it required. Still has them in Dusty Desert? Yeah, I mean, I would assume he has them in Dusty Desert and Kingdom Valley and Wave Ocean, because they're required for that level design. Unless those are the instances where they changed the level design. I can't believe they made the worst part about Shadow Story required. That's insane. Okay, this is 100% an instance where this is definitely worse. Other than, like, you know, ruining the level design. They might have only removed certain vehicles. Okay, this is literally just Sonic's section. Unchanged. Is that... Does he go through this in the original? I'm completely blanking. I feel like there are more differences. Actually, there is one difference I know is there for sure that... No, you do go through it, because I specifically... Okay, this is a little bit different, actually. What? Oh. No worm. Oh, worms. Slightly more combat focus. Okay, the reason I was so confused is because he feels so similar to Sonic that my brain couldn't comprehend a difference for a second. No rainbow ring. Okay, yeah, this is different. Mildly. Yeah, like, the point of Shadow is that he like uses stuff that Sonic can't, especially after Adventure 2, where he stopped being a perfect analog to Sonic and kind of came more fleshed out into his own character, like with Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Heroes. They kind of gave him his own identity, even if in Sonic Heroes he controls exactly the same as Sonic. I don't know. Okay. I want to see if in... Wave Ocean, or Dusty Desert starts with a vehicle section, I think. Feel awkwardly slow, I would agree. Okay, yeah, he has the hover vehicle. Actually, this is a change that I talked about during Shadow Story, where you actually see the next set of pillars coming up, so you know where to go in advance. Which is one change that I do really like with this section in particular. The original feels a lot slower, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but because, oh my goodness, it falls over less frequently at least. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I do prefer how this feels in Project. Whoa. Why is it levitating? Why does it glide? Okay. I don't know, this feels jankier, doesn't it? Because I'm not dying as much doesn't mean it doesn't feel janky. I think I'm gonna have to... What? I am making the wow noises because I'm baffled. Okay, instead of playing through that level, does he have the... I wonder if he has the... Okay, I want to play Kingdom Valley all the way through, and then I want to play Shadows Wave Ocean all the way through, because you play as Omega in that. I know we've already played as Rouge. And we're also going to play as Rouge here. So he does have the glider, which is faster, for sure. The homing sure does function. Oh, ew! You bounce when you hit things! In the original, you do kind of just glitchily go through stuff when you hit it on the glider. But it feels better to play, even if it looks strange. But... oh, that feels awful. Hi, Rouge. Oh, yeah. I forgot about this. In the original, this is a fairly linear exploration section. Here, it because of the radar here, it feels like a more open section, but it's still designed to be very linear. So having the radar is completely pointless and very much against the level design. Okay, yeah, she literally just has Knuckles moveset, but also bombs. That's crazy. What? Okay, there's one in here, I think. But yeah, they're in the same places as at the original too. But the mechanics clash with the level design heavily. Eggman? Oh my god, Eggman in chat. That's crazy. Hey, Eggman. Good news. You're not actually implemented into Sonic or Project 06 yet, so I'm not even going to be fighting you. The thing with the flashing keys at the top is known as a radar among the fandom. Wait, what? It's not in here. I forgot about this. Okay. So normally, the last key would be right here. But presumably, to make the radar be something you have to engage with, even if you play the original, they moved it over here, which... why? Why even have the radar? I don't know. The radar feels so pointless and clashes so much with the level design. Okay, so there are vehicles that you do jump into in the middle of levels. There are instances, I'm just going to be very not careful here, because in the original, if you do this, you get shoved under the water by these falling towers. We'll see if that happens here. No, not at all. It's extremely easy to avoid that. Okay. Oh my god, it's lagging. That's crazy. I mean, that's definitely because I'm streaming. It doesn't normally lag here when I'm just playing on my own. I don't know. Oh my god, why is it lagging so bad? Like, again, Project 06 has its merits. I think this is a wonderful fan game. I don't like that it uses everything exactly the same from Sonic 06 and is presented as a better version of Sonic 06. I don't know. Yeah, like, just from the little bit of gameplay that I've done with normal Shadow, he definitely feels like they changed him to be a lot more like Sonic than he is in the original, just with slightly different combat. Yeah, that's fair. I should do Project 06's plays. Oh my god, I'm sure that'd be a lot more possible than base 06's plays. I'm sure the grab points would work a lot better. Oh my god. In Wave Ocean, and I'd actually be able to beat Wave Ocean as Blaze, which I know would be possible anyway. I don't know if that would be very interesting, though. Because I don't know how different Blaze would control than Sonic in this, especially with her heavily amped up movement abilities. Like how she can double jump out of a dash. I don't know, that could be fun. Could be a fun little side video while I'm still working on the main 06 video. Project 06. It's not bad, it doesn't suck, it's just not Sonic 06, which is what I wanted it to be. I don't know, I feel like voicing my opinions, like I didn't have any positive qualities to share going into this, other than a couple like pieces of level design and little changes with movement, but as I've aired my grievances, I've understood what I don't like about this more and more, and understood the merit in the things that I don't like more and more. But, like, I'm trying to give this the benefit of the doubt, and I do understand its merit, and I do understand why people like it. I just don't like what it's going for. Everything's fine. It's also a lot easier than Sonic 06 in a lot of ways. Oh. Yeah, Shadow and Silver in the original are very much not as fast as Sonic, and it works so well with the different styles of gameplay. Instead of all being one thing through the entire game, but with small differences. I don't know. I don't know. It's almost good. It's so almost good.
Perfect.
Also insanely easy S rank. Sonic 07 on original hardware, not 06. Isn't the PS3 version buggier too? Right, Wave Ocean, because we gotta play as Omega here. Oh my goodness, hold on. My brace is falling off because the Velcro is failing. It is a jet glider over there. Good job, Shadow. Oh yeah, media, in other media too. Yeah, I don't know. As much as I like most of the live action Sonic movies, I definitely, that's drawing. Wow. Wait, what? It's not an on-rails thing here? You have a lot more control. Wait, really? Can I just start going backwards? This is very much not possible in the original. Question what the point is. Star Fox all range mode here. Okay. I did play the 360 version on hardware quite a bit. I beat the game on hardware. Is this longer? Oh my god. This feels longer than the original section. What? What did I just hit? Okay. Wait, dude. The lock-on button is a different shoot button? Why? What's the point? Oh, true. Sonato is incredible. The best thing to come out of the Sonic fandom. I agree. Also, you can't infinitely hover as Mega, unfortunately. As Omega, unfortunately. As awesome as that would be. Wait, really? That makes you lose juice? That's weird. I don't think I like that. Yeah, Star Fox 64 has like actually I don't know how many it has, but has a lot more levels than it feels like when you first play the game. Grind area. Omega's a skater. What would you consider the best thing to come out of the Sonic fandom, Krista? I have seen that, yes, Seal. I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, what? That's weird. I would... Huh? I don't know at all what you're talking about. What? Okay, that didn't come out of the Sonic fandom, though. We know of that because of the Sonic fandom, but Drummond using the voice in bed, oh my god, did not come out of the fandom. Mephiles showing... Oh my goodness, almost dropped my water bottle. Mephiles actually showing up there is something that this has on the original, because he did not show up there. And he just kind of like started talking as a disembodied voice to Omega, which was more intimidating, but a lot more confusing as to what was actually happening. He was captured by Omega. Also, they didn't remove the Warthog, just in certain levels. I think I actually have to kill those enemies, and okay, fighting in the vehicle is just so much worse. S rank, by the way, without time bonus or ring bonus. Incredible. The coolest shit ever. Actually, I see where you're coming from. I disagree, but I get it. Blaze XU? Okay, but Sonata. I mean, it's better. Okay, so in the original, I was very confused as to where to go. I know where to go now, presumably, if they didn't change it. So hopefully, getting to the end of this level won't take quite as long as it did in the original. Unless they move stuff. Wait, what? How do I tornado kick? Oh. Ow. That might be faster than, homing attacking. I think that is. Too many damn banana peels. Wait, you don't get the hover thingy. Admittedly, in the original, this did feel like a part of the level that you're supposed to traverse on foot. But they turned it, but it was a vehicle section. And I feel like it made sense to be a vehicle section. Because of all the water here. Unless only the end is a vehicle section here, instead of the whole thing. Okay, there's the vehicle. Let's go. Hello, Nevin. If you end up watching the VOD, or if someone tells you about this. Do I just go to the end? Like the original? Yes. Okay. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Excessively easy S rank. Real quick, I do actually want to go to my completed file and play a little bit as Sonic, because I have all the gems, and I have also I have all the S ranks, which means I have Super Sonic. To unlock Super Sonic, you need to get an S rank in every single one of these levels, and then go through Kingdom Valley, and there will be a rainbow gem near the end of the level that gives you the ability to transform into Super Sonic. What's a good level to show off Super Sonic in? I don't know, Flame Core was my least favorite. Did I switch character? Did I switch profiles? Did I forget to switch profiles? Flame Core is my least favorite level in the original, in Sonic Story. Unfortunately, Radical Highway is not in this game. Real quick, I'm actually gonna go to the bathroom. I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Sonic Adventure 2 has one of the best intro levels. City Escape? Okay, let me catch up on chat a little bit. I I watched the entirety of all the like cutscenes of Sonic 06 as a kid so many times. I downloaded like the whole 3-hour video or whatever onto my little Java phone or whatever. You love the music of City Escape? I think the music of Wave Ocean is better personally. You can, okay, like significantly better. But I don't know, City Escape is still good. Maybe it's just overplayed for me. The visuals do look really good, but I think the original has more of a charm in a lot of ways. But I won't say that the original looks better than this, because there are a lot of really cool looking things. Wait, can you... I wonder... I want to check over here. Normally this is the failure path. But... Wait, what? Okay, so the lava slowly takes away your rings instead of actually damaging you. I also think that City Escape is a terrible, terrible level. Oh yeah, I was gonna mention, with the blue gem being locked to the very end of the game, while I think it is the most useful and most fun gem to use... What? Normally this homing attack chain only spawns once you actually land on that platform to kind of hide the fact that it's a secret path, so you, like, explore over there, or whatever. Anyway, with the blue gem being locked to the final level in the game, like, you can play it first, but clearly, if you've never played the original, you're probably going to play Aquatic Base last, or second to last, before Tails. It does encourage replaying, but which kind of goes against what I said earlier with, like, the S ranks being less encouraged because of the exploration for the gems. So, like, replaying with the blue gem kind of encourages you to try for S ranks, but because the most fun gem to use, which is what you would replay the game for because it's fun, isn't useful for S ranks nearly as much as it is in the original because time bonuses aren't as important. It kind of hits itself in the face in that it doesn't really encourage replaying that much because it's not useful for the S ranks in this version. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really work for that as much as I think that was the intention with putting the blue gem in Aquatic Base. Hello, Loot Crate. I agree, the music is cool, but Wave Ocean music is cooler, in my opinion. I also just don't like City Escape at all. I think City Escape is one of the worst Sonic levels, full stop. Oh my goodness. That's not true. Not one of the worst, but one of the most underwhelming as a first level. I also don't think it... I don't think Sonic Adventure 2 has good level design. There are a lot of... Like, it's fun to play a lot of the time, but there are a lot of instances where the level design just does not work well at all. I've covered a little bit of that, but... I don't know. Adventure 2. What? This homing attack chain doesn't show up until after you kill the big guy, usually, either. Inch. I don't know. I want to like Project 06. There's so much about it that I think is incredibly impressive and cool, and a lot of really interesting, fun changes that would dramatically change how you engage with the game. But I don't know. Yeah, I've played both Sonic 06 and Sonic Adventure 2 quite a bit. Also, that being a speed boost instead of invincibility power-up does not work with the level design at all. Even going very quickly like I did, you barely get to use the speed for anything that you would want to use the speed for. What? How you feel about Dark Souls 2? Where has a lot of really cool ideas and things that you like and cool changes, but you just don't like it because there are... Somehow, the supposedly less buggy version of the game feels very strange to play. Also, normally that spring would take you straight here instead of making you run all the way around still. Oh my god. I don't know. I know I have weird opinions on stuff, but Krista. I know I have weird opinions on stuff, but I can substantiate them, I promise. It's not like I'm contrarian to be contrarian. I'm just contrarian because I have... Why doesn't that spawn for so long? Okay, normally the enemy spawns as as you approach it, not as you get there, which lets you homing attack to that, so you don't have to wait for the platform. But I guess because of the speed, you can jump to it anyway without having to homing attack to the enemy. I don't even remember what I was talking about. That baffled me. Knuckles feel... Okay, Knuckles and Rouge are probably the biggest improvements. Knuckles is probably the biggest improvement. And Rouge not getting stuck on walls. But Knuckles, like, actually feeling like it controls well. As opposed to sometimes not functioning properly. The glide going way too far breaks the level design, but does feel better, which is like another one of those things about Project 06, where it feels better but breaks the level design. Yeah, I don't know. Also, Sonic running through this section makes no sense. It's very clearly not designed to have Sonic run through it. This is the Knuckles section. Like, they even had to add springs at really weird, janky angles to make it feasible for Sonic to get through here, and it's very obvious that Sonic was not meant to run through this part of the level. I don't know, like, Lud and Zalin are my favorite Dark Souls 2 boss. In Sanctuary Guardian. Sanctuary Guardian is my favorite Dark Souls 1 boss, and favorite boss in the Dark Souls series. Sonic 06 is my favorite Sonic game. Like, I know I have weird opinions, but I don't know, I can substantiate them. I do my best to, and I think it's really fun to do that, and I'm really glad that I have weird opinions because I think it's really fun to try and substantiate those opinions, especially against the common consensus, because I have to, like, formulate a lot of my opinions myself. That's not necessarily true with, like, Dark Souls 2, where there are a lot of people who do really like Dark Souls 2, despite it being contrary to the general opinion. But, like, Lud and Zalin is not considered one of the best bosses of Dark Souls 2, for instance. The camera pointing down like that doesn't happen in the original. Normally, the camera sits in the middle of the tube and tracks Sonic as he goes around and down. I didn't even use Supersonic, I forgot. Oh my goodness. My throat. The camera pointing down there is a really good change, and I will commend the game for that. What would be the easiest level to get Supersonic in? I feel like I could get it pretty easy in Aquatic Base, but it wouldn't be useful there. I guess Kingdom Valley. Krista, is the implication that S is smaller than A because it's a higher rank? Explain what I like about Lud and Zalin? Okay, real quick, I'm gonna complain. The eagle starts at a different spot the first time you open the level, which makes no sense. And also you can move a lot more after homing attacking, which makes a lot of this platforming feel very weird. Lud and Zalin, so Appa is... The homing attack feels so wrong in this. It feels so bad compared to the original. Ava is already a really fun boss, in my opinion. I really love Ava because of how you're meant to fight it, especially compared to a lot of the other bosses throughout Dark Souls 2, especially in the DLCs, where you have to be a lot more careful, and it's a lot more positioning based than, say... Oh my god. This ring... a lot more positioning based than, say, like the Ivory King or whatever. And then with Lud and Zalin, it's like, oh, I've already fought this boss, this will be easy. And then you get Lud down to half health, and then Zalin jumps down. It's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then you kill Lud because you're panicking, and you rush down Lud, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess that wasn't too bad. And then you start fighting Zalin, it's like, huh, this is really easy. That is the easiest I've ever made it into that ring. Normally that's insanely difficult for no reason, because Project 06 homing attacking is wrong. But then Zolan starts buffing, and it's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It takes what should be a fairly simple and easy fight, despite being really fun in my opinion, like the same way I am with Sanctuary Guardian, where I think despite the fact that it's easy, it's really fun and one of the best bosses. Supersonic. But then it adds a lot to it by making it intense and scary, because you're constantly having, or you have the second tiger in the second phase, and then it starts buffing, and then you have to like start panicking and freaking out and trying to figure out how to deal with it effectively while it's buffing. What does Supersonic do in this? He moves faster, it feels like, which is another thing that breaks the level design even more. Whoa. I've never been to this part of Kingdom Valley. I haven't like properly played and explored Kingdom Valley very well. Yeah, I don't know. I like Len Zolan a lot because I like Ava, and then Len Zolan take Ava and make it a more tense and fun boss fight, despite the fact that you've already fought Ava. I disagree. I think Sanctuary Guardian works perfectly well where it is now. Also, the homing for Silver's projectiles doesn't function nearly as well as it does in the original, which is baffling, because the claw swipe actually works. Like this attack actually functions to stun enemies, but the targeting when you throw stuff doesn't at all. It tracks in such a weird way. Like I wasn't even remotely facing in that direction. I don't know. The amount of health Sanctuary Guardian has does not affect my enjoyment whatsoever. Like, not even remotely. Because it's a fun fight regardless of how long I fight it for, right? So I don't really care. Just the run back? The run back is like one of the easiest run backs in the game. Huh? Like, it's a little long. It's like 2 minutes, but it's not even... People like the Shadows of Yharnam, and that has a 2-minute run back. Well, no, because if I had to spend, you know, 3-4 minutes on a normal Sanctuary Guardian fight, if I fought Sanctuary Guardian in a challenge run, I'd have to spend an obscenely long time fighting the Sanctuary Guardian, which wouldn't be fun, so I wouldn't like the Sanctuary Guardian as much. The longer does not necessarily equal better. What? What's wrong with the run back? That's good on Steam, but not too expensive. I'm weird. My opinions are weird. My personal favorite Sonic game that is available on Steam is probably... that isn't too expensive. Would probably be Sonic Adventure. Not Sonic Adventure 2. If you want a more, like, traditional linear Sonic level design... I don't know. I like Sonic 4 Episode 1. I know I'm weird for that. And I'm, like, the only person I know who actually likes Sonic 4 Episode 1. But I think Sonic 4 Episode 1 is the best 2D Sonic game, aside from, like, Colors DS. I don't know. Let me think. I can open my Steam library and like look at it. Yeah, Sonic Adventure DX. It is aged, so hopefully that's not too much of a bother. Like, it very clearly shows its age, and it's a little janky. I don't think that... I just bonked my... or headbutted my microphone. Brain? Hold on, it's somewhere in there. I don't think it's as janky as Sonic Adventure 2, but it is still definitely janky. Oh, I came here so I could show off Supersonic, huh? Where's the last guy? Okay, never mind, no Supersonic. Mostly because Blaze. Sonic Rush is good. I don't think Sonic Rush is nearly as good as Colors for the DS. But yeah, if you can deal with a little bit of jank and age, then I would say Sonic Adventure DX is probably your best option. Otherwise, if you want a more, like... if you want a game that most people like, Sonic Adventure 2 is very good. I love Sonic Adventure 2, don't get me wrong. What the hell? um Otherwise, if you ever get the money for it, I think Sonic Frontiers is a good game. It's a little weird to go into from other Sonic games, but I think Frontiers is a really good game. Can't play stuff out of order. That's fair. I don't know, I think it matters a lot less with Sonic. If you want a 2D game that everyone loves, Mania's there. I don't like Mania. That's not true. I don't dislike Mania. I think Mania is heavily overrated. I love Sonic 4 Episode 1, which is also a very unique opinion. I think it's great. A lot of people don't. And I will never understand why. You know, I think one of my least favorite things about making YouTube videos is when people don't watch the video and comment their opinion on what I'm talking about in the video. Like, for the Sonic 4 video, it didn't get a ton of views, but it got enough views that it got people commenting, saying stuff like, oh, the art style is so bad, and the game is so terrible. Like, as if I didn't explain every reason they thought the game was terrible during the video. I don't know. Yeah, Mania is very fine. It feels... I don't know. It feels too much like a standard 2D platformer, if that makes sense. It feels more like a Mario game than a Sonic game with the level design. I don't know if that's what that gets across what I mean by that, but... Sonic games thrive on their spectacle. I think this game does that in droves. Like that Mach Speed section, I played it horrifically. I did so bad in that Mach Speed section, but it still looks so cool. That's one of my favorite things about this game. The original, the Mach Speed sections always look cool, but it's hard to make the rest of the game look cool. But once you do, it feels so good. Same with the Black Knight, Sonic and the Black Knight. It is so hard to make it look good, but once you do, you feel awesome. Let me go through my Sonic games and see which one I would recommend first. Okay, I have Steam open. Yeah, Sonic Adventure DX. I have all of them on Steam. The original generations, I know you can get that in a pack. You can't buy it on its own anymore, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I like Lost World, but it doesn't feel like a Sonic game. It has the same issue as, like, not feeling like a Sonic game. I don't know. Sonic Mania, obviously. Sonic 4 Episode 1. Episode 2 has a lot more traditional Sonic flow, but isn't as good, in my opinion. Sonic Rumble, yeah. I want to play Sonic Dream Team so bad, but I can't play it on an Apple device. Like, even if I had the money to buy an Apple device to play Sonic Dream Team, I wouldn't do it. The carbuncle has ate itself. Sonic Shuffle is funny. I like Sonic Shuffle. I don't really have anything else to talk about for this game, to be honest. 2 hours in. Or like an hour and 20 minutes into Project 06. I kind of already aired the majority of my grievances, and the rest of them I feel like would take their own whole video to really get into. But I don't know, there's just... It's so almost perfect. It's so almost... This is what I wanted Sonic 06 to be. But Sonic 06 is already so close to that, and they changed too much for this to be that for me, right? Because of how close Sonic 06 is to that already. 200 on every single Sonic game on Steam? You should. Play all of them. Do it. You know you want to. I could play the original 06 DLC levels. At least a few of them. Also, enemies dying and restoring your flight meter is so strange. It does not work with... how this game is. It's not useful at all. It's just like, oh, that happens. Okay. But it doesn't let you fly farther because it restores nothing. I don't know. It's very strange as a mechanic. Sonic Heroes is good. I highly recommend Sonic Heroes. If you're going to emulate them anyway. There is actually a Windows version of Sonic Heroes. You can find it on like abandonware sites. Sonic X Shadow Generations does... I wonder if they named it Sonic X Shadow Generations so that when you search Sonic X Shadow, you get that instead of fanfictions. That'd be funny. Or people looking for fanfictions would see an official Sonic game and be like, oh my god, I didn't know there was an official Sonic ship, Sonic and Shadow ship. Okay, so in the original, if you feather your flight properly, you can fly this distance quite easily. Or actually, not quite easily, it's very difficult. Okay. That makes me wonder if I can make it if I start flying earlier. I forgot that I don't have to worry about feathering my flight. You do lose a lot of your forward momentum. Maybe if I start flying later. I think you can make this. It feels like you can, because it's like right there. Maybe not. You can make that in the original. By feathering your flight, because in the original, you actually have to like pay attention and try to fly further distances, but here it is objectively always the best choice to just hold the fly button. Because they removed any nuance from Tails' flight. It's almost good. I agree, they should have called it Sonata Generations. Hey, a new time record. 30k time bonus. That's a lot more than I was expecting to get. I don't know. I guess I don't really have anything else to talk about. Are there any specific levels anyone would like to see me play or whatever? I'm willing to do a level or two before I end this stream. I might turn the streams into a video. We'll see. Radical Highway. Are there any Sonic 06 levels that people would like to see me play? I don't know, because I do have that insanely long Sonic 06 video that I'm still not even close to done with that I'm working on. But I like want to make more stuff on Sonic 06. That's gonna take a while to do. I like getting my thoughts out there, you know, in as many formats as I can. I don't know. I like this game. I love this game. I love Sonic 06. Project 06, I don't love because I love Sonic 06, which makes me sad. Halo the level from Halo C. Radical Highway it is. Let me boot up Sonic Adventure 2 real quick. I wonder if I have Sonic and Shadow Generations installed, actually. I don't know if I have that installed. It's been so long since I played Sonic and Shadow Generations. I'm not gonna play Silk Song on stream. Hold on, if I have Sonic and Shadow... Oh, I do! Okay, hold on. We're playing Radical Highway. Hold on. Launching Sonic and Shadow Generations as we speak. This one, I think. That's so loud! I'm so sorry. I don't... Oh my god, it's... I'll turn it down as soon as I can. Oh, I should be able to now. Why is this so loud? Oh my goodness. It's been a very long time since I played this. I've 100%ed it like 3 or 4 times. I also still need to finish Silksong. Okay. Let me see if I can even remember how to play this. You do need to finish this, I agree. If you like the stream, you should press the like button. That's such a good point. Can I like select a level? I don't remember. I can. Particle Highway Act 1. God, it's been so long since I played this game. Do not expect good performance here. Is there a quick step? There is a quick step. What a dramatic difference. This feels so slow after Sonic 06. Which is strange because it is faster. That's the button I need to press. Like, it should feel faster because I have a boost to move quicker and everything, but... Oh my god. But because the boost is supposed to be faster but isn't that much faster, it feels slow.
I'll overcome every obstacle with this power.
I forgot about Shadow's new voice actor. That feels strange. I think he works better for game Shadow, but for fandom Shadow, it's so weird hearing Shadow, or yeah, seeing Shadow animations with this voice actor. Also, what other Sonic games should I stream in the future? Because like, I love Sonic 06, but oh. No. I love Sonic 06, but I know a lot of people don't. I probably want to do Sonic Heroes at some point. And that one's less divisive than Sonic 06, but... also... I don't know. There are a lot of them I want to do. I don't remember how to play this game at all. I feel... incompetent. I remember the S ranks being fairly easy in this game, though. Not as easy as base generations, but still pretty easy. Should stream Shadow the Hedgehog? I don't know if that's one that I want to stream. I should be more careful. Yeah, see, normally you would have the, like, Super Shadow stuff going on here. What? Wait, this has the Project 06 issue. You could just retry the skill check. Sonic Boom. I forgot about Sonic Boom. Which one? I would do like... No, I wouldn't. I was gonna say I'd do Shattering Crystal or Fire and Ice. You can't quickstep on the sliding sections, apparently. But I probably wouldn't do any of the Sonic Boom games as a stream, honestly. The only S ranks that took me like a decent amount of time were the hard... this feels very strange to control. Were the hard mode bosses, and in particular, hard mode Metal Overlord was kind of rough. That one took me a while. Whoa, a medal. I should play this game again. I should start from the beginning and just like play this game. The other storybook one. I'm actually almost done, oops, with Secret Rings, just on my own. I could play, I could definitely stream Black Knight, but I don't think I would end up streaming Secret Rings just because, I mean, it's Secret Rings. Sonic Adventure DX is very loud, yes. Most Sonic games are. What's the Lightspeed dash button? Is there a Lightspeed dash button? Actually, don't remember. I think this game does a very good job of making you feel cool without much effort, which is both a good and a bad thing. I think it's really fun to just like feel really cool just by playing the game. But I also think it's really cool to like have to put in effort to feel like that. Like this game makes you feel like Shadow by just playing it. while, say, Sonic and the Black Knight makes you feel like Shadow, or feel like Sonic, rather, once you put in a lot of effort, and not, you know, as soon as you boot it up. And there's merits to both approaches, for sure. I prefer how Black Knight does it, but this game is also incredibly fun, evidenced by the fact that I 100%ed it like 4 or 5 times and then continued playing it afterward. Cool 100% of the time. I'm the coolest. Secret Rings is almost good. The problem with Secret Rings is the controls. Like, everyone says it, it's a stereotype, but it's true. Oh, B rank. I sure did play good. Anyway, I might replay this game. Just for fun. I actually should probably finish editing my main channel video, because I need to do that. Hopefully there will be a main channel video coming out soon. Sorry for not uploading for like 3 weeks. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I love you all. I don't know how to end this.